All right. Happy, those of you who are in the US and who do Thanksgiving, happy late Thanksgiving. I want to say thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday on that day as well. I really appreciate you. And because we have some time off, a lot of us, that I wanted to share something that maybe you were like me. And maybe you still are like me, where sometimes we get a little bit overwhelmed with all the things that are out there that we could do for training, in terms of like supervision or training, whether it's like eating disorders and gut health or autoimmune issues and chronic pain for people who are chronic dieters. There's all kinds of trainings we can take now. And that's really wonderful. And I do hope that every single person gets the training that helps you feel really, really confident in your skills. Because I actually think the point of training isn't more certificates, good morning Kelly, isn't more letters after your name. It's really about we do training so we can feel confident to do what we really care about doing. That's the point of training, or any kind of courses or any kind of coaching we do. So I want to talk to you about today, one of the things that was probably the best things I ever did in my business. And I want to share with you that experience this morning so you can be thinking about if that's something that you think would be helpful for you too. So as I started at the beginning of the video, is we all get overwhelmed. And as I'm thinking about what's coming next in 2020, and as this year is wrapping up, this is the first year I have a clear focus ever. And I've been doing online business for about 5 years, and I've had been in either other people's private practices or my own since 2006. That's a really long time to not know what I was doing. And I'm going to do this video not because I'm trying to get you to do something with me today, but just to help you get really clear about what you need. That feels really important to me because a lot of times we try to be everything and we try to do all the things. So I'm going to talk to you about the best thing that I did in 2019 for myself personally. And I would say personally because it grew my ability to get clear. And that's always been a struggle for me, is that I know when I want to help a lot of people, and I actually am a very big picture person. I have big visions for things. But the clarity of how to get there sometimes I haven't always had because I'm always moving so quickly. All right, so if you come to this video later, anytime, please, I really encourage you to watch the whole thing because I'm actually going to be setting up little nuggets of things for you all along the way. And so it all builds on itself. So thank you so much for watching live if you're here live. All right, so the best thing that I did in 2000, Kelly, I'm going to answer questions as well live. So I'm happy to make this a live coaching call as well. It's really important, and this is going to be important to what I want to encourage you all to do more of in 2020. That's part of this too. Is the best thing that I ever did in 2019 was invest at this time of the year in mid-December with a coach. She's not in our niche, doesn't have a clue about how to help me do what I need to do. I was really clear about who my people were, so that was helpful. So she couldn't really help me with that. But she helped me get really clear about this one thing, is that if you've got a big picture and goal in mind, that we're gonna work backwards, and every day and every week is an opportunity to work a little closer. So the best thing I ever did, I did this coaching, and we essentially met as many times as I could do it. And this was the catch that was really important for me, is that I met with her probably almost every single week in 2019, except for, on one hand, maybe 6 times, maybe just because of her schedule and not mine, because I would have made it happen, is for 20 to 25 minutes every single week, we focused on one thing that I was going to do for the next time we met. And if we didn't meet, I couldn't schedule the call. And there was something very, very powerful about that for me, is to have somebody else knowing what I'm doing, to build that long-term relationship like we want to do with our clients, which I'll talk about in a minute. But just to have small, some of the goals were pretty big. I was saying I'm going to do XYZ thing, and they were big. Like if you if you were part of this group last year, in March, I did a launch for my non-diet and decoding skills counseling program. I've had it going for 3 years now. It's been real successful. And when I say successful, is that not huge numbers. I'm not there yet, probably. But radical transformations in people's skill level. That's what's happened. It's been amazing. And everybody that's gone on to do this course is doing very well in their practices and just has a huge up-leveling with their counseling skills. And that's what that one was for. So sometimes some of the things that I was doing the assignments, she was helping me get really clear about what was important to meet certain goals. And, for me, I wanted to create like a very, very valuable video series. I did like 10 videos, wrote scripts for them. I hardly ever rehearse. I kind of rehearsed some of them a little bit, not too much. I didn't memorize anything, but wrote the scripts out and did the videos and uploaded them when they needed to go. And that was really hard for me because that was time management organization. And that's something going into last year, I recognized that I really needed to have some systems of actually even just delivering content. And so I'm still very spontaneous, but I also know that if, to actually build something, there has to be some consistency, which is what this investment also really helped me do, is like every single week I'm doing something that's getting me closer to where it was. And all that did at the end of the day, like, do I have $1 million business? No, that really wasn't the expectation or the point. It was to teach me how to be a boss in this private practice, and to learn how to provide you with better content, and to learn how to provide my clients with the best services possible. But before they could ever be my clients, they had to trust me. And that's where I want to talk to you all about, is a lot of people want to do both a local, good morning Tracy, man. They want to do a local business, private practice, and they want to do online. And I've talked about this a lot, and this is what I want you all to be thinking about in preparation if you are trying to do online or do both, is that online's a long game. There's not too many people I know who are overnight successes. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I'm pretty minorly, I think, visible. But the thing that has helped me so much, which I want to encourage you to do, so I'm going to give you a couple tips today, is that, and I'm going to talk to you about, come full circle back to like the coaching I did last year, and then I'm going to have a little offering for you. You're going to get more of, is people ask me for 2 main things and like 3 other smaller ask, and that's what we're going to do here. So ask number 1 was people want somatic training skills. And so we're going to do that here, but it's going to be a requirement on your part. It's because that work is very it is very experiential. So I can share a lot of things that in theory, where the research comes from. But in order for you to learn how to be a good somatic nutrition professional, a good somatic coach, is that I'm going to provide what you need, but I need you to show up. So that means that like I'm going to be doing probably videos here once a week that just teach the nug of the thing. And then if you want to learn about more in depth, you can be part of a membership that I'm going to be having just for those skills. But if you don't decide to do that, you're still going to get a lot of valuable tools here. The second thing you'll ask for is how to be a business owner and how to market without being icky. And this is the most important thing that I've learned over the last 5 years, but especially this year. Okay, I'm going to answer these questions. I love that you all are here with me on Saturday. I didn't think you was going to show up, so I'm so grateful you're here. I'm going to answer these questions here in a second. The other thing I learned is that relationship building, you guys, is the only way. Because I want to share with you, I've worked with probably... Oh, hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Mr. again, that's how the spontaneity works. But my family forgot that I was in here. So anyway, thank you for watching live. This is how it rolls. All right, and so relationship building. I want to share with you guys the real deal here. Is that in the last 5 years, I've worked with probably 4, big time coaches. And I would say this past year has changed everything for me with this one coach, because it's just brought me back home to my heart of, to build a business, people are always first. And we get really caught up in trying to do too much of what everybody else is doing and all that. And she's just and I didn't fall too much in that trap, but I did fall into certain traps over the years of, doing plug and play emails and all that garbage that, because we are loving people and we do care about people so much, that we have to work a little harder and be more patient to help people recognize that we do have a solution to help them heal from their food and weight worries faster. Now, does faster mean they're going to get better in 4 weeks? No. But, we might be with them for 6 months or a year and a half, and, we're part of the solution that helps them be done with this. And so what works for a lot of different niches is not going to work with our people. And I know that, and I just kept, but because there wasn't anybody that understood that, I was just using what was available. And this year has taught me, I think, not the key, but something that I think will benefit a lot of us, is learning how to just love up on people in a non-spammy way. But also, we do have to ask and let people know what we do to help them. And I recognize this year that, anytime I wrote an email that felt a little uncomfortable, I'm really asking people for money, but it was still I read it and wasn't in an icky, false humility and false scarcity kind of way. They would make me really uncomfortable. Those are the emails I should send, because they're just enough. There's truth in that what is your life going to be like if you don't do anything different? That's true. So anyway, I'm sharing all this with you to recognize that we feel like asking for anything is being harmful, and it's actually not. So this is something I'm going to share that I'm planning on teaching you all this year in 2020 as well. So let me get to your comments. Spontaneity is me as well, and that's had created flops. Oh yeah, Kelly, I can't tell me how many videos that people don't watch. A year, but online's not easy, but it can totally be done. So Kelly, if that's something you want in the future, it can be done, but I think you're just going to need a plan. Okay, I'm going to talk about that later. Tracy says, I feel more comfortable in person but love the reach and flexibility online. Mostly then I get squirrel syndrome. That's let's see how we're doing here. Does anybody have any questions before I jump in? Okay, cool. So the thing I want to talk to you about for 2020 with online business is that, there's a lot of noise, but with a people first mentality of picking, and getting really clear about your platform. So I want to share a couple things that I think are really important. And then I'm going to kind of go to what I have to offer in 2020 for you all that's outside of this group. I just want to let you know what's happening. And so, okay, if you're on Facebook, Facebook loves live video. Taking people on a journey is really important as well. So keep that in mind. If you're on Instagram, of course, we know it's the visual medium and people are learning through the memes. However, I do want you to think about less photos and probably more infographic is the point, something that teaches something. Now we've all seen those, like, what about this? It's almost like a before and after kind of photos. Some people love those, some people don't, but I think just to have the infographic that's a teacher with pictures is doing really well right now. If you love Pinterest, I highly recommend you get yourself on Pinterest because it's not as saturated as Facebook and Instagram, and that can be a really great driver to your blog. And then of course YouTube, which is my other favorite besides Facebook. It's just providing really good content, and it's important to be very authentic. Don't try to, if you can't edit very well, don't try to do all that, but have a video that is organized. And in some of the stuff I'm going to offer here in a second, I'm going to talk to you about like actually how to do videos like that if you're interested. Like, do you have this issue? And here's XYZ things we're getting ready to talk about. Just like I did the beginning of this video, like I talked to you about what I was going to talk about, so you knew what was happening and why you would stay tuned. All right. So I hope some of those tips help. Let me know below, like, or emoji, heart, something that like this is seeming possible, because the squirrel syndrome, I mean, that can happen even in our community. Do I do a group? Do I talk to doctors? Do whatever? It's like, get really, really clear. I want you all to get clear today. And give me a comment below. What are you noticing in person, like in your community, is the most successful for you? Talking to therapists. One second. Be out there in a minute. Okay. Talking with therapists, talking with physicians, talking with ancillary people, moms groups, YMCAs. What are some things that are the best for you? Tell me below. And I know every community is different, but it's really important that you have an idea about that, and of course to do more of it. And I've always, the dietitians that I'm currently working with, the dietitians I'm currently working with, I have personal success better with this as well. But finding your low-hanging fruit therapist, finding your eating disorder non-diet therapist first, and then working your way up. And some people I've had success with that aren't eating disorder people, child psychologists, look for them, because sometimes they're usually really good at help. Like, they like networks because they have like a family type of feel. So look at family therapy and child therapist, as well as occupational therapist, as well as what's the last person? Oh, any kind of trauma therapist. They work with eating disorders, they just don't know it. All right, let's see here. Tracy says, think about there's a great nugget about infographic for Instagram. I'm interested in doing YouTube. Most comfortable with Facebook. Okay. Well, YouTube is one of those things that it's just like anything else. It's also a it's just about really good content. Can you teach people? Like I probably hang out honestly more on YouTube than anywhere else, because I go to learn how to do stuff. Because I'm an experiential learner, because I see people doing things and then I go do it. That's how I learn. People who love blogs are going to be people who are more auditory, and they like to read things and they talk in their head. And then people who love Instagram are probably people who they're very visual, so they like charts and graphs, and those are the good things that you can be doing on Instagram. Let's see. And Tracy says she's a great, okay, got it, sorry. You have a great resource for coaching in person, but most of the well-marketed coaches are virtual. Well, I started off in person, and if you need an in-person coach for your local business, let me know. I'd be happy to help. But because I just started doing virtual work probably the last 5 years. The third did. How many before that? So next year will be my 14th year. So 9 before that, I did in-person work. So I'd be happy to help you if you're looking at it. More of that coaching will be around really you getting really clear about how you talk to people about what you offer, and learning how to keep good records and about follow-up, and really learning how to listen to what people need. So I'd be happy to help you with that if you're interested. So Kelly's focus is to get more into churches and front of docs, therapists, and a couple of docs have been referrals. Someone said to the docs, giving me a letter of recommendation to go with the docs. That's a great idea. I mean, I have done everything. I've done lots of snail mail and get into offices. But I gotta tell you, I'm going back to this. This is a back door. Is if you have a child in your life that is connected with a doctor somehow. It doesn't even matter if it's a pediatrician. It doesn't even matter what kind of doctor it is. If you have a relationship with any kind of doctor in your life, like I'm friends with my kid's pediatrician. Our kids both go to school. And over the last 3 years, we've developed this friendship around business building, what I do, what she does, because she's doing some of the reproductive health kind of stuff. And it started off with a friendship. It didn't start off with me trying to market at her to get me to send her patients, which she never did. Now she does if she thinks of it. Part of the issue in town, Kelly's saying, is take only 2 insurances. Okay. I want to talk to you all about insurance. I think it's great that people offer insurance. There are always going to be people that no matter what you offer, and if you're the best person in town, they're going to just pick the person with the insurance. That's just how it rolls. But Kelly, I'd love to get my hands on you to figure out, to help you be very magnetic to people that just what's the fee? I'll pay it. Because I know that you have the skills to do that. This is more about mindset stuff for so many of us. I'm going to talk a lot about that this year. Do you ever just teach your blogs on YouTube, or are you not recreating content? Oh yeah, everything that I do here goes to YouTube. I put videos up on my blogs. I mix it up. The problem is for me personally that I don't have as much time to write as I used to. But that's one of my goals in 2020 is to write more, and to write in a way that's really clear and concise and lets people know here's your problem, here's how come, here's what you can do. And then a very clear call to action. Not always a sales call to action, but just like a call to action to take action, to feel like people have something meaningful to do something with. I hope I answered that question, Kelly. So Kelly, I think I scare people with I bring the non-diet message. We can, but anyway, that's what I do in my coaching, is to just be very relational. And honestly, I just do a lot of kind of sort of coaching with people as I'm talking to them, and it doesn't feel like sales. So that's what I hope, because it never worked for me. Like I said, it's embarrassing how much money I've spent. I'm kind of I want something, and so I'm not good at it, and I'm going to figure out how to be better at it. So I will go do trainings. I'll work more to pay for stuff. I'm kind of one of those people that if I'm afraid, I just kind of go do it. And some of it's been disastrous, but I've learned so much. And it's embarrassing how much money I've spent, honestly. Of money I didn't even have, but I don't regret anything. Everything I've ever done, I don't regret. Because I've learned that a lot of the bright and shiny stuff out there on the internet is junk. And I've been able to take the nuggets from all the junk and all the times that I kind of got the wool pulled over my eyes to kind of distill things down very clearly. And so what I want to tell you all today is that I wouldn't, yes, if you are having a place where you're getting clients, go back and do that. Whatever that was, go and do it now, Monday. if you still want to keep an online presence, those who are watching this, do it, but don't try to be everywhere. I'm giving you all a call to action today is pick one place that you love and do it. Just do it. Start putting out there, but don't just, and again, you're going to put out videos and blogs and memes and whatever that don't land. That's okay. You've got to learn, but start to pay. I'm going to give you one more tip. That's a little bit of a free tip today about how to, like, if you're struggling with content. And this is something that I do with people who I'm coaching now with the business part of things, is that if you're struggling with content, I would go 2 places. Just as a tip for today, is go to either Instagram, and when we answer questions for people without trying to sell them anything, answer questions and be really helpful, but answer the questions that maybe the original poster can't get to, or that you have a little bit of different thought about, and just answer it in that different kind of way. And you don't have to put a link to where you are. Don't do that because it looks spammy. Don't do that. Hey, Lindsay, good morning. Don't do that. Or do the same thing on YouTube. Don't go on YouTube, somebody else's YouTube channel, and answer questions. And then come over to my channel and watch so-and-so video. Don't do that. Just go there and answer questions that haven't been answered, and answer it from a view that you feel like it's missing. Like, genuinely provide some value. But those are 2 places to go, and just go practice with no expectation. Oh my gosh, it's going to get me 10 clients. Just go practice. So anyway, I want to go back to beginning. I learned a lot of this stuff this year just by paying attention, and a lot of it through that every single week, that 20-minute clarity coaching call of what are you working on this week? So if you can do that for yourself, great. To keep you out of the weeds, great. But if you're interested in doing something like that with me, I'm offering that. And I'm offering it for 2 reasons. One, because it's funny, the person I worked with last year, she didn't really do business. It was really just about social media strategy. That's it. It wasn't about, and it really wasn't even about all the other platforms, except for she was pretty good at Facebook and Instagram. Those are her things. And I didn't even do anything with Instagram all of last year. Just enough to kind of keep a presence, and that's it. With things that were important to me. But it wasn't just flopped up junk content, but it was something that I felt like I wanted to put out there. I did. So what she didn't have any strategy, and she obviously couldn't help me with the supervision thing. So this year, I'm doing a couple different things I want you all to know about. So you can be thinking if you want that kind of support. And I'm going to be putting out an email to my email list for professionals that I have connected to this group next week sometime, just to kind of talk about the details. But since you all came live here, and I really appreciate that, is that what I want to share is that, so I'm going to be doing 3 things next year. That's it for professionals. I'll be doing the trauma-oriented course, 12-week deep dive in January. Probably the last week in January, we're doing that. 2, I'm going to be doing a membership, a Supervision membership, that you can just come and go as much as you want. There's no contracts, but there is a monthly fee. But I know a lot of people want to do supervision. They want to have the connection. And that's why I want to offer that. And so it's going to be like group supervision, but all kinds of other goodies, which is access to my courses. I want you all to have that. So that's what I'm doing. The 3rd thing is I'm only going to offer that. I'm only going to offer that between now and I'll be honest, I'm going to do it between this Saturday and next Saturday to offer this. And only because I need to get clear about who I'm going to be working with in 2020 for this every week coaching for supervision, for trauma skills, and for your business. And just helping you stay very, 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 very focused, because we try to do too much. Every year I try to do too much. And so I'm inviting you all to be like me this year, and let's simplify and get really clear about who we want to help, where we want to do it, and how we want to do it. And each week we're going to have the how. Like, what are you going to do and how? And so I'm going to be offering, if you want to know about the prices, I'm not going to even put it here. If you're really interested, I'm not going to try to sell you anything. But if you're interested, private message me, email me, and those 3 offerings, that's all I'm doing this year. I mean, you can always do one-on-one anytime you want to, but in terms of like offering the non-diet counseling skills over and over and over again, like every 3 months, every 6 months, I'm not going to do that this year. It's going to be the trauma course, which is going to be new, which will be included in the membership probably next year, or maybe late next year. I'm not sure yet. But because so many people are like, I know I need to go deeper. I want to know what's happening in people's systems around their trauma, because I know it's screwing up their food. And nobody else is doing it. And I want people to know really clearly what to do without hurting people. I see a lot of people talk about like mindfulness and embodiment, and that's really good. But some of our clients can't do that. They just can't do that yet. So we need to learn regulation and tracking skills first. So we are not going to be the queens of too much this year, everybody. I'm doing 3 things. Trauma course in January. Spring is the kind of group supervision kind of club, basically, or member, or kind of community, where I'm going to have, honestly, people come in to talk about the things you care about, and we're going to practice. I'm very experiential. So I'm not going to jam a bunch of information, a bunch of studies. We are just going to come and meet probably twice a month, and do role plays, do practices, and we're going to do it together as a group, and we're going to learn, and it's not going to be expensive per month. And then the third thing I'm going to do is between today, which is November 30th, until next Saturday, whatever date that is, December whatever, I'm going to be offering 20 minutes a week, weekly coaching for whatever it is that you need to stay laser focused on, so that between this time next year, today, and next year, you will have a business that you feel like, okay, like I really got somewhere. I feel really happy about what's happened. Because I don't want you to be in that position where it's like every year, like you have your low periods in the summer and you're freaking out because you don't have the money to do the things you want to do, or to take the time off you want to do, or to be with your kid. Like next year, I haven't shared this with anybody, so you guys are probably going to know until way later on. But next year I'm doing homeschooling with my daughter, so it's like I'm setting up things for people that I care about, which is you all, to do the best work you can with your clients, especially around trauma, eating disorders, and to not get the squirrel syndrome. I love that, the shiny, bright thing. I need to do everything. Same as I want this group to be a place where we feel really grounded and connected. And I think that we can have both, which is a business that works for us, whether it's just us or maybe you have a group, and that's great. That's what you want. But I want this between now and next year, just like we do with our clients, when we say, where are you going to be in a year if you don't do anything different? Versus if we do some different things, where can you imagine things looking like? And so for me, it's like, I'm simplifying things because I'm going to have to. And sometimes force things make you simplify. But all of these things are things that I love anyway, but I'm just putting it on like practical, daily and weekly actions to get us all where we want to go. And I want you to be part of that with me, is that we all simplify things a lot, to not have the squirrel syndrome, get really clear about who we are, who we help, what we're really good at, and not trying to do what everybody else does. That's really important to me for you all to have as well. And so, this thread, I would love to hear about each of you individually who showed up live, and anybody who comes later, just tag, hey, this is who I think I am. This is what I'm interested in. This is what I want. This is what I want to see my little business look like. It can be a big business too, by the way. But this is what I want to see happen 2020. And so let's see if we can figure out how to get there, right? So if you are interested in, and by the way, I work with this coach because it would have usually been $14,000 for the whole year. I paid $3,000 something, just so you know. I'm not charging that much for a whole year of coaching. And there it is. I just want to let you know the price, if you're thinking, oh, she's probably charging like a lot of money. No, because if we're going to be meeting 20 minutes a week and we're laser focused, I mean, you're gonna pay for that in probably a month or two if you do the things you need to do. And that's my goal, is that you you have the whole year of me working with you to get your systems figured out, to get yourself organized and out of overwhelm, and to have some ideas. If you're, let's say for example, I used to have lulls in my schedule, and it was like